Back again. The Art of Discomfort. Dun, dun, dun. Are you going to hide in your hood again?
Might.
She hid in her hood earlier. Okay, we're asking you, we've asked this before of you too. Get uncomfortable. That's when the growing happens. There's no growth in the comfort zone, no comfort in the growth zone. So you got to get uncomfortable to grow.
Yeah, so whatever that looks like. If that looks like I'm going to have a play date with people whose culture doesn't look like mine, or I'm going to go into this place of business where I'm not the dominant culture, or I'm going to go to a race conversation, or I'm going to confront a bias, or I'm going to speak my truth, or I'm going to write about something that I've always, not talked about. Whatever that is, whatever that thing that makes you express a boundary. Whatever that looks like, we always create this idea in our head that this we've got to run from the discomfort, right? And I'll just share a story. So just this last week, some events came up in my personal life, and I really had to confront some dark things that I haven't talked about or thought about for a long time, but they all kind of came looking for me, as hard things do. And I was processing this, and I was having, all of a sudden I was overcome with the emotion, all this stuff I don't want to feel. I don't want to feel it. I don't want to feel it. So I just stayed and felt it, and I ugly cried. There were snot bubbles. It was not pretty, but it only lasted 3 minutes.
That's it?
That was it.
3
and
minutes?
then I got done with it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I've been pushing that away.
Yeah.
Hedging around. It's been occupying space right here. This little corner, but it's always nagging. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like a tickle in your throat. It won't go away. And then I just took 3 minutes to let it fully envelop me. And then I was like, okay, that's what I've been running away from for the last 3 years?
Yeah.
That was 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So, everything that we do that is going to change us, that is going to shift us, it's going to deal with the discomfort of our bias. It's going to deal with the discomfort of challenging authority. Anything that we do that's uncomfortable, I just want you to remember the discomfort is so short-lived compared to the breadth and the width and the depth of the lesson, and it's not back here anymore. It's I brought it front and center, and now I'm done with it.
Yep. And
you say that all the time. Can we just be done with it?
Yeah. Can we be done?
And you talked about not bringing it back up. Talk about how you dismiss just total criticism.
I just choose to focus on the positive. Like you said a couple videos ago, about, the person that was saying some negative things, your troll or whatnot, but then you had 3 positive people saying things, and I said, can you lead with the positive stuff? The positive stuff, that's the good stuff. I love the triumphs. I love the mini victories. I personally, everybody operates differently, but I don't have energy for that. I say it all the time, your tomorrow is not guaranteed. So live for the triumphs, live for the victories. Forget the naysayers, you will always have the haters. You will always have the people who want to say negative things. Okay, let them live in that world. Just focus on the positives, and I guess that kind of leads into the motivation video too. That's also part of my motivation, is those positives. Each time we have an event or we do something or we make a video and we get really good feedback or whatnot, it's okay, yeah, we're making a difference. So
You're always saying drop that one person.
Yeah,
and I'm always I'm going to carry along this troll for 6 months.
Not if they're not bringing anything to your life. Why? You don't even know
that
person.
So what does that look like for you? Because that's a practice, right? When your brain wants to pick up that negative person and say oh, she doesn't like me. What do you mean by how you dismiss that? How does that physically happen?
I guess... okay, so if there's somebody who says something negative and they say they don't like me, right? Okay, I guess I quickly process okay, do I know this person? How well do I know this person? Are they adding anything to my life? I mean, it's real quick to dismiss strangers. I'm not sure why. I know that that's a problem in society, but I'm not sure why people get hung up on this person said something terrible about me. Do you know that person? they're in their mama's
It
basement.
sounds so silly when you say it.
That person could be sitting in their mama's basement, like on their computer, writing negative things because that's what they do.
It's true.
You just can't get hung up on that. Focus on the positive. It's just life is just your tomorrow's not guaranteed. So that's what keeps me like focused.
You just dismiss it really fast versus taking like 3 days like I do.
But I think there's a part of me that's my personality. Like I've always kind of been like that. It's never been like, okay, you don't like me, and okay. You're too focused on your goals. Right? Yeah, I guess so. So that's something to work on.
But practice though. This year has been a year of practicing leaving that behind.
Yeah.
You've called me out on that every single time.
Yep.
Graciously, right?
Yes. So you might remember we made a video before, and she was on vacation, and she was
I'm going back in the hood.
Yes, go back in the hood if you'd like. No, I won't let you go back in the hood. So you were on vacation, and you weren't even focusing on the vacation. You were so hung up on what this person had said to you before you went on vacation. And I'm like, Heather, like you are on vacation thinking about this person who most likely is not thinking about you. And I think that's probably when it clicked and you were like, oh my gosh.
It still takes me a little while. It still takes me a little longer to process, but it's getting faster and faster. And that's what I'll say. If you really want to get better at not spending your life worrying about the critics, you got to practice it.
Yep.
You got to practice it until you become a pro. And I would call you.
Am I a pro?
You're a pro at
Okay.
it. Yeah, you are
thanks.
a pro. By the way, without that skill, you wouldn't be able to consistently take the risks that you do in putting yourself back out there.
Oh, what a
You would
nice
just
compliment.
right. I mean, you would just sit around and you'd be like, "Oh, I'm still under the bed, under the covers from the last person who didn't like one thing I said."
Yeah. Oh, thanks. That's really nice. My New Year's resolution was to work on taking a compliment. So, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, next video
Coming up.